Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a legal case that kicks off with a violent crime, but in a wild turn of events, ends with the victim herself facing charges. We're going to break down how a citizen's public criticism of the police spiraled into this huge battle over her fundamental rights. Okay, so it all starts with this one single line from a legal document. I had a knot on my head like the cartoons. I mean, just picture that for a second. It's such a strange and jarring image, and it immediately pulls us right into the raw, physical reality of what started this whole thing. All right, so to really get what's going on here, to understand the legal claims at the very heart of this case, we have to rewind. We've got to go back to the inciting incident. What actually happened to Olivia Walker? So this all kicks off back in May of 2019. Olivia Walker reports that she was brutally assaulted right outside her home. Now, the attack left her with some really serious injuries, but according to this legal motion, she was facing an absolutely impossible choice: go to the hospital for herself or stay home to be the one and only caregiver for her mother. And listen, we're not talking about minor bumps and bruises here. The legal motion spells it out pretty clearly. It lists severe head trauma, seizures, nerve damage. This was a violent crime, plain and simple, and one that you'd think would demand a really serious response from law enforcement. But you see, the crime itself, that's really only half the story. It's the official response, or really the lack of one, that sets the stage for everything, and I mean everything, that comes next. Now, you might think, okay, maybe this was just a tough case to crack, no leads or anything. But according to the motion, that couldn't be further from the truth. It claims that clear, actionable evidence was handed over directly to the detective on the case. I mean, just think about what was provided. The motion alleges the police had a video of the actual attack, a photo of the main person involved, and even a license plate number. That's pretty much an investigator's dream, right? The kind of evidence that can break a case wide open. And yet, despite having all this evidence, what happened? Nothing. Crickets. The case just went cold. The filing claims that zero action was ever taken against the people who allegedly attacked her. So what do you do when the official channels, the ones that are supposed to help, just seem to fail? Well, for Olivia Walker, the story was about to take a very, very public turn. I mean, imagine you're in her shoes, feeling completely ignored by the people who were supposed to protect and serve. Olivia Walker decided she just couldn't stay quiet anymore. She took to a public platform to demand some accountability and, frankly, to just voice her frustration. She starts using her Twitter account to directly call out the DeKalb County Police Department. She's sharing details about her case, the evidence she says she gave them, and her just growing anger at the whole situation. And she didn't just stop at calling out the inaction. No, she started to publicly question the motives behind it. She started asking these really tough questions, like wondering out loud if bias, specifically colorism, was the real reason her case was going nowhere. And from there, she zoomed out, connecting her own personal experience to what she saw as a much bigger problem. As her legal motion points out, she started highlighting what she viewed as a larger pattern of failure by the department, even pointing to a record number of unsolved murders in the county. And right here, this is where the story takes an absolutely dramatic and totally unexpected pivot. This is the moment where literally everything changes. So get this. Here's the stunning reversal. The woman who reported a violent crime, who handed over evidence, who publicly criticized the police for doing nothing, she was now the one facing criminal charges. Just let that sink in for a second. Now, the motion argues that this prosecution was anything but routine. It alleges that this was a big, public, and aggressive move. They even held a press conference about it. And, what a coincidence, this all just happened to come right on the heels of her very public criticism of the department. Okay, so this whole sequence of events is the bedrock of her entire legal argument. It all boils down to this legal concept known as retaliatory prosecution. And that is a powerful claim. To put it simply, her motion is basically saying, you're not prosecuting me because I actually committed a crime. You're prosecuting me as punishment for speaking out against you. It's a claim that this whole case is a direct attack on her right to free speech. And her motion really hinges on this stark contrast. It's trying to paint a picture for the court. On one side, you have her own assault case, which she says was ignored despite all this evidence. And on the other side, the case against her, which was pursued aggressively and very publicly. The argument is that this huge difference is proof of a retaliatory motive. And this isn't just an accusation she's throwing out there. No, her motion is leaning on some serious legal heavy hitters. She's citing prior court rulings that basically say, hey, you can dismiss a case if it's motivated by retaliation, if it's selective, or if it's built on a shaky foundation. So, okay, we've got the whole backstory, we've got the legal argument, but what does this motion actually ask the court to do about it? And in a pretty incredible move, she's representing herself in all of this. She's the one who submitted this formal request to the court, basing her entire defense on this claim of retaliatory and selective prosecution. Her request really boils down to two huge things. First, she wants the court to dismiss all the charges against her with prejudice, which is a legal way of saying they can never, ever be brought back again. And second, she wants the DeKalb County Police Department completely barred from any future involvement, arguing they've shown they just can't be impartial. So this whole case, laid out in this one legal document, leaves us with this really powerful and, frankly, essential question about our justice system, about free speech, and about police accountability. It forces every one of us to ask, where exactly is the line between criticism and criminality? And, maybe more importantly, who gets to draw that line? And that right there is exactly why this story matters to all of us.